Drew is to May what Gary should have been to Ash. A prodigy among Pokemon coordinators, Drew was the standard by which she measured herself. As May's Hoenn and Battle Frontier rival, he consistently pushed her to grow. What separated him from Gary was how often he battled May. While he battled May throughout her journey, Gary didn't battle Ash until after the Orange Islands, over 100 episodes after his debut. Where Gary's triumphs were merely mentioned, Drew's arc was woven directly into May's development. Drew wasn't just May's rival. He was the force that shaped her into a coordinator. Every contest, every battle, and every rose he flicked her way deepened their relationship. Unlike Gary, who drifted in and out of Ash's journey, Drew was a fixture in May's adventures. Without him, and later Harley, May's contest run would have felt like disconnected, standalone episodes with random opponents. Drew brought continuity, romance, and the sense that each contest was building towards something spectacular. Hi, I'm Professor Silver, and today I'll dive into the history of Drew, detailing how he took the contest circuit by storm, defined May's journey, and shaped her character. This video is sponsored by Plank Mattress. This year has been a bit of a fresh start for me, as I'm newly single, so getting a new mattress felt like a much-needed reset. Essentially, I've got a new life, new mattress, and same old obsession with Pokemon. It might sound silly, but a new mattress is one of those things you don't realize you need until you actually get it. My old mattress was years old, and since switching to Plank, I've been getting more sleep, better rest, and overall, I just feel more relaxed. What I love most about the Plank mattress is that it's super firm. I work out daily, so the extra support it provides has been huge for my back. It's so firm that the American Chiropractic Association says its luxe design can reduce spinal stress, improve lumbar support, and even alleviate back pain. And it's not just me that likes my new mattress. My dog Mocha loves it as well. From the moment I set up the mattress, she claimed it as her own. And as it goes, every night we fight over who gets the best spot. To be fair, I always let her win. Australian Shepherds are extremely effective negotiators. Getting the mattress itself was also really easy. You can do everything online, shipping is free, and it comes straight to your door. You just open it up, let it expand, and put it on your bed frame. Simple as that. I did the whole setup myself, but I'll admit, it's heavy enough that having a second person definitely wouldn't hurt. Unfortunately, as I mentioned 45 seconds ago, I'm newly single. I'll need someone to help me rotate the mattress in 3 to 6 months, and applications are open. Just saying. For the quality you're getting with Plank, the price is incredible. They also offer a 120-night sleep trial, so you have plenty of time to make sure it's the right fit for you. All in all, it's easy to take a mattress for granted, but when you finally get one you actually like, it makes a world of difference. You spend about a third of your life asleep, so you might as well be doing it on something comfortable. If you're ready to upgrade your mattress and sleep like royalty, go to plankmattress.com/silver and use code SILVER to get 30% off your order. And now on to Drew's history. From the moment Drew debuted in Now That's Flower Power, he radiated aura. If he were a Pokemon, he'd be Sceptile. Cool, calm, and confident to the point of arrogance, Drew carried himself with effortless authority. Like Gary, he was sharp, critical, and completely unfiltered. Drew first crossed paths with May while preparing for the Slateport contest. In his first scene, he tore into her for her poor training, lack of style, and unworthiness as a coordinator. To Drew, contests were an art form, and May didn't even own a paintbrush. The meeting was a disaster. May saw Drew as egotistical, while Drew dismissed her as irrelevant. When they met again, he challenged her to battle. Roselia started strong, shutting down Tackle and landing Stun Spore, but May's Beautifly Silverwind turned the tide. Team Rocket cut the fight short, yet Beautifly's performance earned Drew's respect. After Roselia blasted off the trio, Drew told May he looked forward to facing her at Slateport. At the contest, in Win-Loser Drew, May was visibly nervous, while Drew breezed through the appeals, earning a perfect score with Roselia's Petal Dance. Only fellow competitor Robert could match his score. For all his arrogance, Drew was a master of his craft. After May's appeal, Drew handed her a rose as an apparent act of kindness, only to immediately undercut the gesture by teasing that it was for Beautifly. When the two met in battle, Roselia didn't take a single hit. It wove through Beautifly's offense and finished up with Solar Beam. Despite the performance, Drew and Roselia then lost to Robert and Milotic in the finals. In the end, both he and May realized that no matter how hard they trained, there would always be someone better. They each vowed to grow stronger and defeat each other the next time they met. After Slateport, Drew lingered in May's thoughts. He fueled both her ambition and her drive for perfection. In Candid Camerupt, just seeing another Roselia drove her into a fury. Meanwhile, the opening themes for Advanced Challenge, Advanced Battle, and Battle Frontier all reinforced Drew's importance. Appearing over 150 times across the 3 openers, he was clearly a major character. By the time Drew returned for the Fall Arbor contest in Pros and Con Artist, he had 3 ribbons while May had none, just as Gary always had more badges than Ash. In spite of the rose he gave May, Drew called her indecisive and mocked her progress. After May, he accused Ash of avoiding competition and challenged him to battle. Surprisingly, Roselia defeated Talo, proving coordinators could also be world-class battlers. As at Slateport, Drew bulldozed through the Fall Arbor appeals in Come What May, with Roselia scoring 29.6 out of 30. In the battle rounds, however, Grace's Medicham completely dismantled Roselia without taking a hit. It floated away from Magical Leaf, intercepted Petal Dance, reflected Solar Beam, and closed the match with High Jump Kick. When May beat Grace to win the contest, Drew started to see her as a real rival. His respect was evident, even if he refused to voice it. Before leaving, Drew offered May another rose, this time for her and her alone. In Disaster of Disguise, Drew returned so as to lose to the Phantom's Dusclops in a stunning upset. Due to the loss, he sat out the Verdanturf contest to let Roselia recover. For the first time, he watched May compete alone. From the stands, in Disguise to Limit, Drew noted May's composure, confidence, and skill. Though he respected her win over the Phantom, he still called it luck. Narratively, Drew's losses to Grace and the Phantom made May's wins feel more meaningful. His defeat gave the audience a clear measure of their strength. That said, while May's feats were impressive, Drew remained technically better than her in every way. He reminded both her and the audience of the gap between them when he returned for the Rubello contest in A Fan with a Plan. After teasing May for her lack of direction and brushing off his fans, he dominated in Cruisin' for a Losin'. Roselia swept the appeals, throwing May off her game. She entered the contest overconfident and unprepared. Drew warned her to forget her recent wins, but she ignored him to her own detriment. Under pressure, May lashed out at Bulbasaur and lost in the first battle round. Meanwhile, Drew excelled using his newly caught Masquerain. First, it beat a Girafarig by freezing Bubble with Ice Beam and ricocheting Hidden Power off the ice. In the finals, Masquerain defeated Savannah's Lairon with Shockwave. May left the Rubello contest humbled, while Drew walked away with his 4th ribbon. By the time Drew appeared in Who, What, When, Where, Why Not, he had earned his 5th ribbon and started training for the Grand Festival. More confident than ever before, he revealed the Pacific Log contest was May's last chance to qualify for the festival herself. Despite all she'd achieved, he still thought her clueless. May tried to change his opinion through battle, but their rivalry only softened after Team Rocket stranded them. While lost, May nursed Drew to health and joined forces with him to protect Wild Wynot. Still, Drew promised victory at the festival. When the festival began in Hi-Ho Silverwind, he wasted no time teasing May. He told her enthusiasm couldn't replace talent. Unlike earlier encounters, the romantic tension between them was palpable. May's mom revealed May had talked all about him, Drew gave her a rose, and Harley implied their relationship was more than friendly. Even more revealing was Drew's sharp reaction to Harley. While May believed Harley's advice to only use Silverwind was genuine, Drew immediately saw it as a ploy to limit her potential. In spite of the drama, Drew and Roselia finished the first round in 3rd place. May advanced as well, but Harley's grip hadn't loosened. In round 2, he told her to rely solely on assist. Luckily for her, Drew stepped in, exposed Harley's tactics, and reminded May to always trust herself. Because of Drew, May entered the battle rounds totally renewed. Drew advanced also, thanks to Masquerain's perfection. After May beat Harley, Drew toured through the rest of the festival and met her in the quarterfinals. Against Combusken and Skitty, Drew used Roselia and his newly caught Flygon. Skitty burned through Petal Dance early, but Flygon knocked Combusken off balance, opening the door for Flamethrower and Solar Beam. Though Combusken blocked, Sandstorm shattered Fire Spin, and Roselia slipped past Blizzard. Undeterred, May rallied when Skitty launched Combusken back into the fight. Skitty froze Magical Leaf, while Combusken muscled through Flamethrower and landed Sky Uppercut. The comeback nearly worked, but Stunspore locked Combusken down, and Steel Wing secured Drew's win. After beating May, Drew worked his way to the finals, where Masquerain and Flygon faced Robert's Claydol and Milotic. They tried hard, but fell to Twister, Hyper Beam, and Iron Tail. Coming so close to victory didn't shake Drew's resolve. Instead of sulking, he skipped the festival's after-party and jumped straight back into training. He was determined to never fall behind. When May noticed he was missing, she ran to find him. Their emotionally charged conversation ended with Drew admitting he hoped to see her again. As he walked away, May watched him longingly. Her blush when her friends arrived and flustered reaction when her mom called it romantic made her crush completely clear. In the end, Drew helped May realize her potential to become a top coordinator. Their shared goal brought them back together in Kanto, where they each entered the festival circuit. In spite of their heartfelt parting, their reunion and on Cloud Arcanine was as playful as ever. Drew bragged to May that he already had a ribbon while she had none, and May found him just as irritating as ever. Instead of clashing at a contest, they competed to catch a wild Arcanine. When their efforts collided, the challenge turned into a battle for hunting rights. Flygon easily defeated May's Squirtle, but after learning Arcanine was caring for pups, Drew put aside his capture efforts and combined his strength with May to protect them from Team Rocket. Before leaving, Drew recommended May compete at the Saffron contest. He would sit it out while searching for a new Pokemon. For the rest of the battle frontier, Drew remained a steady presence. He didn't compete with May as often as he had in Hoenn, but he always remained in May's thoughts and heart. In the Saffron Con, she dreamed of surpassing him. While in Harley Rides Again, she mistakenly believed he was responsible for the letter and rose she received. At the Chrysanthemum contest in Spontaneous Combustion, she learned the items were from Brianna, an energetic fangirl who idolized Drew. Brianna's role went deeper than admiration. She was openly in love with Drew, modeling both of her Pokemon, Surskit and Vibrava, on his Masquerain and Flygon. In many ways, she wasn't just competing in the contest. She was also competing with May for Drew's attention and affection. Until Brianna came along, May had never seriously considered her crush for Drew. Brianna's jealousy reframed him as more than just her inspiration. He was someone whose presence could stop time. To his credit, Drew wasn't romantically interested in Brianna, but treated her kindly, never leading her on. Though he sat out the contest to let his Pokemon rest, he still watched May perform. Notably, Drew sat with Ash, Brock, and Max, signaling his shift from outsider to friend. When May pursued her 5th ribbon in New Plot, Odd Lot, and Going for Choke, Drew watched from a distance without her knowing. Even though she didn't know he was there, she feared his disapproval if she failed. But instead of taunting her, Drew quietly foiled Team Rocket's attempt to rig the match. As he put it when he rescued May's friends, he wanted her to have them to cheer her on. At episode's end, May brushed past those very friends to speak with Drew. As much as she liked Ash and the guys, it was Drew's approval she truly wanted. By the Grand Festival, Drew was no longer just the standard by which May measured herself against. He was also her motivation and inspiration for contests. In May We Hardly Drewed Ya, they grew closer after May met Soledad, a seasoned coordinator who had defeated Drew and Roselia in their very first contest. According to her, Drew had once been just like May, nervous, ambitious, and overly sensitive. Though he rarely accepted advice, he stayed in touch with Soledad, mostly to talk about other coordinators. Eventually, Soledad revealed that Drew spoke of no one but her, making his feelings clear. Going into the appeals, Drew rocked the first round with Masquerain, landing in 7th place. But his second round performance in Thinning the Horde proved to be a major letdown. Though he passed using his newly caught Absol, the performance rattled him. Between Absol's struggles, the pressure of the festival, and May's rising skill, Drew snapped. In a rare outburst, he berated Absol for falling short of greatness. May tried to help, but Drew lost his cool and scared her off. To him, Absol just wasn't measuring up. It was only after speaking to Ash and Brock that he realized that he'd been too hard on both Absol and May. Back at the festival, Drew rebounded by defeating Medican and Loudred with Roselia and Masquerain. In the quarterfinals, Drew used Flygon and Absol against May's Combustion and Squirtle. The battle mostly took place in channeling the battle zone. To open, Absol slipped into Sandstorm, blinded Combustion with Flash, and landed Iron Tail. Though Squirtle and Combustion fired back with Bubble and Sky Uppercut, Flygon's Flamethrower and Absol's Dragon Breath boosted Razor Wind overwhelmed them. Drew pressed on with Steel Wing and Iron Tail, yet Mei regained momentum by fusing Fire Spin and Bubble. Squirtle then cut through Flash with Rapid Spin, struck Flygon with Bubble, and finished it with Ice Beam. Although Absol then defeated Squirtle, Combusken held strong. He and Absol clashed with Mega Kick, Iron Tail, Razor Wind, and Water Pulse. Pushed to his limit, Combusken learned Overheat. Though Absol endured 2 blasts and countered with Flash and Razor Wind, Combusken landed Sky Uppercut to win on points. For what it's worth, Drew accepted the loss with grace. He recognized Mei's growth, appreciated Absol's contribution, and took pride in exiting the festival in the top 8 if it meant seeing her advance. After Mei fell to Soledad, Drew left her with a rose and the promise they'd meet again. At Saga's end, in the unbeatable lightness of scene, Drew returned right when Mei needed him most. After the festival, she had fallen into a deep depression, unsure of what to do next. To help her move forward, Drew challenged her to battle. He used Roselia and Butterfree, while she chose Beautifly and Combusken. Mei opened with Fire Spin and Psychic, but Roselia held the flames at bay with Petal Dance. Though Beautifly launched another attack using those very same flames, Roselia blocked them with Magical Leaf. When Combusken tried to close the gap, Butterfree gusted the flaming leaves his way. Combusken then dodged Psybeam to land Sky Uppercut, but Beautifly couldn't dodge Petal Dance. After Butterfree used Protect against Overheat, Drew won it all using Solar Beam and Psybeam. Thanks to Drew, Mei realized that in order to grow, she needed to step out of Ash's shadow and develop a style all her own. Having helped Mei find her footing, Drew traveled to Johto to compete in the contest there. Harley and Soledad followed suit, with Mei joining them after Ash defeated Brandon. Together, the 4 competed in the contest circuit, pushing one another through fierce competition. By the time of Mei's return for the Wallace Cup in a full-course tag battle, Drew had evolved Roselia and had defeated her at least once. During the Cup, he watched Mei perform from afar. It was a subtle, yet poignant reminder that even when he wasn't competing with her, he was still invested in her growth. Many years later, during Pokemon Journeys, Drew reappeared among the Hoenn cast watching Ash battle Steven Stone. His presence in the Masters 8 reinforced his lasting importance. Whether or not Drew ever achieved his goal of becoming a top coordinator remains a mystery. Still, there's little doubt he had the potential. Like Ash with battling, Drew had an intrinsic understanding of contest. More so than even Zoe, he was a natural performer, someone who cultivated each of his Pokemon with precise care. Roselia captured his love of beauty, Masquerain and Butterfree reflected his quiet versatility, Flygon represented the effortless cool he aspired to, and Absol revealed the hidden insecurity he never showed and had long buried. Drew did everything a good rival should. He carved his own path with unique Pokemon, epic battles, and an ethos of perfection. In addition, he challenged Mei to rise higher than she ever thought possible. He forced her to confront her doubts, sharpen her skills, and define what success meant on her own terms. Personally, I loved Drew as a character because he made everything look effortless. As arguably the first recurring rival to actually appear and battle regularly, he offered a glimpse at what Kanto could have been had Gary been used with more care. Drew raised the bar not just for rivals, but for what a parallel character could bring to the story. While Paul would surpass him in Diamond and Pearl, Drew will forever remain my favorite coordinator. On that, class is adjourned. Big thanks again to Plank Mattress for sponsoring today's video. If you want to try one of their mattresses for yourself, go to plankmattress.com/silver and use code SILVER to get 30% off your purchase. I'm Professor Silver. Until next time, catch you later.